think people know ball, right? Then you hear him talking about Marvin Harrison Jr. It's just like, we get it, bro. You have a PFF subscription. Super happy for you. Super happy for you, bro.
Hey, PFF was right about that corner from the Cardinals. He was trash. Number 16. Oh my God.
Oh my lord. Sheesh. It got ugly, didn't it?
Yeah, he was getting cooked for the game too.
Yeah, like just run man. Just run man. That's just genius. Fucking dipshits. Get fucking smoked by uh by Jackson Smith and Jigba. Okay. The boys are back. It is Friday, September 26th, heading on to week 4 in the NFL. It's the very important NFL betting show. It's your boy Sosa Picks, joined by Fast Money Prop. You already know what it is. How you feeling today, my brother?
Yes,
It's the
sir. I'm
weekend.
feeling
We
great.
made it.
Yes. The weekend. I got to wake up early to get the kids ready for school and shit the next 2 days. Best days of the week.
Been a great start to the week too, man. It's just obviously last night, but before we get into anything that has to do with this week, man, last week was one for the books, I would say, in a multitude of ways. Um, Anything first and foremost from week 3 that like stood out to you that was crazy that you just that really obviously we had a game last night, so it's kind of tough to rehash last week, right? We kind of like already in the mode of this week and like getting into the bets and such.
Yeah. First thing that stood out was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 3-0, and all 3 wins have, came at the buzzer pretty much. So that's been impressive, even though they faced the backup quarterback and Tyrod Taylor. It's just impressive to see Baker continuing to find ways to get it done. Um, who else stood out to me last week? Um, the Cowboys and Bears went as expected on one side, right? The Bears lit up the Cowboys secondary. That might be the worst defense in the NFL. We'll
Mike.
see what happens on Sunday, but I expect Jordan Love and those young receivers to have a coming out party, especially coming off a loss too. I think we'll talk about that game, but yeah, it was like a track meet. CeeDee Lamb getting hurt killed everything for Dallas. We've had some big injuries, so CD will be out for about 3 to 7 weeks. I think they said 3 to 4 weeks. 3 to 4 weeks. I think that's the biggest thing when it comes to NFL. You just never know when the player's gonna get hurt, and when they do get hurt, it usually takes a couple weeks to get back right, even if they play the next week. So I thought that was a big thing for me. And then man, Detroit. They went out there and dominated the Ravens defense. I was not expecting that on Monday night. So salute to the Lions. Looks like they don't miss a beat with Ben Johnson leaving. They put up 30 plus points in back-to-back games. I think those were. And then lastly, the Eagles too. The Eagles win was impressive. The Rams were dominating them at the crib in the first half. And they got to a point where they had to throw the ball to be successful. They bottled Saquon up, and Jalen Hurts put the game on his back, got A.J. Brown involved, and boom, it was like nothing ever happened. None of the A.J. Brown reading the book talks. You didn't hear none of that this week. You know what I'm saying? So
You ever notice? You ever notice with the Eagles, it's like it becomes like an avalanche.
Yeah, once they get going,
it's like things just start getting ugly, and then like the defense starts making stops. Devontae Adams starts dropping touchdowns. I mean, and it'd be happening with every team they play, bro. It's like once they've realized that, hey, man, it's time to turn up and lock in, it's like they just turn into a different football team. It's crazy.
Facts.
You brought up the Detroit-Baltimore game. I think that what we learned from that game, first and foremost, is the huge importance of Nnamdi Madubuike to that defense. We can talk all we want about Roquan Smith, and we can talk about Kyle Hamilton and those guys in the back end. If you can't, wreak some level of havoc at the line of scrimmage and prevent the other team from going crazy running the ball, it's going to be extremely easy for these quarterbacks like Jared Goff, who are immobile, because I think that was like the number one thing. We're looking at Detroit, their quarterback can't really move. You're thinking that, he's going to get dominated by Baltimore to some capacity, and they just go out there and just, 150 yards on 12 carries for Montgomery. Insane. I love what he said. I saw him do like a pod afterwards. He was like, it didn't matter what the situation was. There was no way I was going down or not trying to score on that last touchdown late in the fourth quarter, which is something you love to see. Think we're on pack watch for a couple of coaches, man. Miami lose another one here. McDaniel.
I think they will too. I ain't gonna lie.
That's all I'm thinking. I think we just forgot about them because they played on Thursday. Something that stood out, the Patriots losing 4 fumbles in a game. I don't remember.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That 4 fumbles in one game is insane. And if people are gonna glaze Drake May when he plays well, we need to be a little bit clearer about how we feel about him when he loses games and when he makes big mistakes. He made a couple of big mistakes. You can't throw a red zone picks. That's just not it. You can't throw a pick where you could have gotten points out of the drive. That's not cool. I don't know what's going on in New England with the running backs fumbling. Travion Henderson, I mean, at some point, is going to have to get some run just because no one else could hold on to the ball, right? Like at some point, Ramondre, I think he's in his head. Antonio Gibson was just like the icing on the cake, I guess. You get a fumble. All right, bro, I'll fumble too. So I think that was something major. Like, how does that happen, especially with a coach that really preaches discipline? The Raiders going on the road showing us that they're ass. Gentry still not able to get going. I think you clearly learned that if you don't have an offensive line, it's going to be very tough for any quarterback to be successful or young running back.
Facts.
What else? Texans 0-3 down the gun barrel, lost to the Jaguars. They look like they're in complete disarray. And then also on this show, it's always a great day when Michael Penix fucks off a game. He looked like complete trash. We got to see.
I almost forgot about that.
30-0 on the road against the Panthers. He sucks. No surprise. Also, just got the update about an hour ago that Jaden Daniels is definitely out for this week. I think we all kind of saw that coming, right?
Yep.
About last night, Seattle, Arizona, 3-point game for the money. We saw the good, the bad, and the ugly from Arizona last night.
Facts. You literally saw, like you said, everything. The first half was hard to watch for the Cardinals offense. That shit was just ugly. No connection with Marv and Kyler. Kyler just running around looking for Trey McBride any chance he gets. Really couldn't get the run game going either, which I didn't think they would have a good day on the ground. I'm just impressed by the Seahawks defense through 4 weeks. That's been the biggest takeaway for me. Other than that, definitely salute to Sam Darnold continuing to turn that corner. It's never too late to get right, man. I think he's figured it out. Got a great system there too, and a lot of weapons around him. He had 2 RB1s pretty much. If for the people who do like Charbonnet, I'm a K9 guy, but those.
Me too. I love dogs.
See, I got a little dog, but I like big dogs, though. You know what I'm saying? See, you lucky. That's another story for a different day. But JSN, I mean, I thought it was really impressive that he was able to stay engaged, right? 3 carries, I believe, throughout the first 3 quarters, but wasn't really getting active in the receiving game. But when it was for the money, he showed up. They dared to play man with him, and Sam Darnold said when he saw his man, he was licking his chops. He knew he was going to his guy, and he made a play, 2 plays. So a big blunder by the kicker for the Cardinals. I mean, get the ball in the zone. I think the zone shit is dumb anyway. I ain't gonna lie, but
then last night happened.
Yeah.
But then last night happens, and you're like, damn, this shit can cost you a fucking game either way.
Facts.
But that I like. See, that's the thing. I'm the complete opposite. I love it. One, you want to make the game safer. It does make the game safer. It definitely makes the game safer.
Yeah, it does.
And secondly, like I think it's something that like whenever there's something new that's introduced to the game, because it's foreign, we don't know what advantages we can use it for. You know what I mean? And I think that like over time, depending on who the kicker is, and as they learn this a little bit more, I think what you'll see is that the kickoff can be used to your advantage in a lot of different ways based on how you kick the ball, where you land it. If you keep it in bounds and you keep it in the landing zone, you can. There's like a bunch of different things strategically that you can put together. So like I thought at first it was really dumb, but I'm starting to come around. I can't lie.
Yeah, this shit look well. When you put it that way, it makes sense. And I feel like a lot of drives are just so short now too, because that blunder put him at the 40. But even if it was a touchback, they would have been what, at the 30?
The 35.
So,
but
35.
See, that's the thing. You want to land the ball inside the 5, inside the 5-10 area, right? And make them have to catch it.
Yep.
And then because you think about it, let's say they get the ball at the 25-yard line, right? The return gets them to like just a 30. I mean, we're probably talking about a 57, 58-yard field goal, maybe 60, as opposed to a 50, one that he's a little bit more comfortable with at the end. You know what I mean?
Fact,
so
yeah.
It's just, like I said, it's very irritating. And it's so deflating because Arizona fought back so hard to get to just give themselves a chance. And you know how it works in football. No one would have given a fuck about any of the dumb shit that we saw take place earlier in the game had Arizona been able to figure out a way to win that game. We would have just talking about we would have just been talking about what an epic collapse Seattle had.
Yep.
So that's how that's just the way the game goes, man. But yeah, major takeaway. I'm sick and tired of divisional games in the NFC West not ending with a tie. I would have much rather liked to see that, but Seattle, we've talked about them prior. They're a damn good football team. They look good. Their defense looks really, really solid. And like you said, man, Sam Darnold figuring it out.
Y'all will have seen every team in the division by next Friday's show. Thursday Night Football. You all got the 49ers Rams. That should be nice. Hopefully y'all got your guys back, at least the quarterback.
I know Kittle's not going to be back, but I mean, it is what it is. If you got to make do with Mac Jones, obviously we lost Kittle. That's tough. That's really, really, really tough.
Facts.
We just got through the Thursday night game. We're going to get into the slate. First game is going to be obviously that 9:30 a.m. Eastern time start out in Dublin. We got the Vikings and Steelers heading to Dublin, Ireland to play the first of, I want to say 5 international games, or is it 4 more that we got?
Ooh. After this one should be 4 more, I think.
Okay. As we all can see, Minnesota laying 2.5, heading out to Ireland. Over under of 40.5. I'll let you go first in regards to your thoughts on this one, because I know you have some in regards to both sides. So I'll let you go first, and I'll follow up on it.
Yeah, I could go take it through Crowd Finder right quick.
All right,
it'd be good. So looking at this one, like you said, Pittsburgh 2.5-point dogs coming into the season. I wouldn't have expected this line, but I get it with Carson Wentz playing. The thing is, with Carson Wentz, you can't take too much into what you saw last week. We know the Bengals defense is trash. We know Jake Browning is fucking horrible. The Vikings threw the ball 6 times in the second half. That will not be the case this week, right? Wentz was sacked 3 times in the first half. I do believe Pittsburgh will be able to get after him. I was going to look at Warren. Then I seen that as y'all can see here, him and Jonnu Smith are questionable. Now, the receiving core for Pittsburgh is already DK Metcalf and the Pips. You know what I'm saying? Even though we do respect Calvin Austin now, But now you take if Jaylen Warren is banged up, I would assume he's gonna play. But him being banged up, I don't like that for Pittsburgh. I do expect Flores to blitz Rodgers. We've seen this game in prime time. I feel like this game was in the UK last year, right? Or something like that. Rodgers with the Jets versus the Vikings. When the Vikings won, Rodgers threw that pick, trying to hit Mike Williams on the fade route towards the end zone. You remember that?
Yeah, and then Saleh got fired on the flight home.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember.
So, it's really gonna be it's Carson Wentz. Can he get the job done against this Steeler defense? Now, the Steeler defense hasn't been impressive. Now, last week, I feel like New England made a lot of mistakes. Well, you said 4 fumbles last week for the Patriots.
And
I don't think we'll see that from Minnesota. They also get Jordan Addison back to that receiving corps, which is a big deal. So I'm not gonna lie, man. I want to see how this goes. I know where you're leaning. It's kind of hard for me to bet on Carson Wentz to win a game, but for the Steelers, first I need to see Warren's status. I think he was limited in practice. Let me check here. It just says questionable. Doesn't say if he practiced or not. But if he does play, he was going to be my look for the receiving yards. 21 and a half. We see he's over in every game this season. I expect that to continue. Can you get a lower line anywhere else? Looking like that's the best line. So, yeah, Warren over 21 and a half receiving yards. Not mad at the receptions either. 3.5 plus 110. I think that's great value. I think we'll see him with a couple screens and dump offs. Because, like I said, I do expect Flores to blitz. I think Warren would be a nice little safety valve for Aaron Rodgers. And with DK, he's been able to get into the end zone, but nothing else besides that, right? No big yardage game except for the week 1 game, I want to say, against the Jets. So that's just I don't really know what to trust. I can't see a Calvin Austin longest reception. With how aggressive the Vikings defense is, not mad at that. But my favorite look will be Warren. Now on the well, I'll stop here and see what you got for the Minnesota side. But yeah, so for the Pittsburgh side, Jaylen Warren, receiving yards over 21.5. And as far as the game, I lean Pittsburgh with the points.
All right, and this one I'm rocking with the big play receiver in DK Metcalf. I think obviously he's got in the end zone a couple of times this year so far. I like him to score another touchdown. I think that, again, wide receiver 1 with Aaron Rodgers has always been a thing. It will always be a thing because he doesn't play to the distributed by team thing. His number 1 receiver is going to get targets no matter who's on the field and who plays against him. Give me DK Metcalf to score a touchdown at plus 155. I think that's a trend that continues. I think he gets his first vertical touchdown this week. One thing about Aaron Rodgers is he's a vet. You aren't going to confuse him at the line of scrimmage with this cover 0 stuff. Now, the offensive line might not be able to hold up. Now, that's not confusing him. That's just Brian Flores having a defensive front that's better than what you can present on the offensive line for a Pittsburgh Steelers team. So I think for me in this one, I personally, I do like, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have to air it out. At no point have we seen this team really get a running game going. I think part of it is that we know that I think that the team knows that Caleb Johnson has talent, but he's just a complete fuck up right now. I said that to you the other day. He's just, you spend a draft pick on him. You have all these high hopes during the preseason and during training camp, and then he just simply lays a couple of eggs and just looks like ass, makes some mistakes, and that's the easiest way to get yourself put on the bench when you're a rookie. So again, like for me, it's DK to score a touchdown plus 155. If you can get a better line elsewhere, go for it. But for me, I think that's the best line I've seen. The line I see right now on FanDuel is plus 155. Love him to score a touchdown. Also like his receiving yards.
I got the target share pulled up for you too. Leading the team with targets with 17, 20% target share. Austin is behind him. With 15 targets. Red zone target share for DK is 33%. So yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, and I think that's something you just got to do with him with the red zone. It's a thing. And it's always been a thing with Aaron Rodgers and his number 1 receiver. You get inside the 10, he's not looking to run it. He's looking for his big play receiver inside the 10. He's been a specialist at that his entire career. Other than that, I think Pittsburgh is very, very motivated to win the game. I'm not going to pick them officially on the internet to win the game, but I do believe that they are highly motivated. I think their defense at some point is going to have to perform well. I think Carson Wentz is a perfect candidate for a Pittsburgh defense bounce back. I know people are going to tell me some bullshit like Carson Wentz played last week really well. He didn't have to fucking do shit. The defense scored more points and I think had more yards than the Bengals did entering the fourth quarter of the game, bruh. So you know what I mean? Like I don't think, you know what I mean? I don't think they had. I don't think he like would people because that's the first thing. Oh, O'Connell can play with any coach, can coach with any quarterback, and it's like, bro, well, he didn't have to do anything. So I don't quite see how we get to that as the conclusion. But I don't want to spend too much time on this game. I know this game is probably going to be relatively boring because every time we expect there to be some level of points, it becomes some bullshit. The next game I'm going to get into is the Titans and Houston. And we're only going to talk about this, bro, for about 10 seconds. Because unless you have something in this game or you like something, I know everybody and their mother is on Nico Collins this week. Everybody thinks Nico Collins is going to go crazy this week. I don't know if you have anything on like Prop Finder or any of those fantasy apps or any other data app where you see something that would have you in agreement or on the other side. Houston laying 7.5 points against a divisional opponent at home. I don't think Houston's 7.5 points better than any team right now, the way that we've seen them perform. I just simply do not believe that for a second. I think their offensive line is a travesty. And I think I just got to be honest about C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud's not played well. It's not just the offensive line. He hasn't been good either. You know me, I cape for my favorite players. I can't lie. I can't. Like he hasn't been good. I don't think they're 7.5 points better than anybody. They're both 0-3. Who the fuck thought that would be the case going in? Maybe people thought the Titans would be, but there's no way you believe that. You thought that these guys were going to be 0-3 entering this game against the Titans. But that's where they are, and that's where they stand. So, you like anything in this one? You got any thoughts? Prop Finder got anything that you might be rocking with? I don't know.
Yeah, I'll share screen, get some numbers here real quick. I know everybody likes Nico, but I like Christian Kirk to get rolling. There we go. So looking at Kirk, first game back, he had 25 yards. I believe he got a decent amount of targets though, right? Yeah, 8 targets, only 3 receptions. So he had a 22% of the receiving share, as y'all can see on the bottom right here. Looking at the Tennessee defense against wide receiver twos, allowing the 5th most targets and the 9th most receptions. So 22 targets, 13 receptions, 12.8 yards per reception. So, I mean, his receiving yard is at 36.5. I think that's the best line you can get right now. Let's see. Yeah, 36.5 minus 115 on BetMGM. They're giving up the 5th most receiving yards to wide receiver twos. And it's just a low line, I get the Snead and Nico talks, but when we betting, we want to find the best angle that we can. And we're seeing a Tennessee defense that's giving it up to wide receiver twos. Kirk is wide receiver 2. I like him to be more in rhythm after he getting his first game back out the way. Then we'll go right here to the game log and look at some wide receiver twos against Tennessee. So Alec Pierce had 5 targets, 4 receptions, 67 yards. In target share, he actually is wide receiver 2 over Josh Downs so far this season. So he had a great game. Well, not great, but he had a good game. 67 yards, 4 receptions. That's double almost of what Kirk's line is. Devontae Adams is wide receiver 2 for the Rams. He had 106 yards, 6 receptions, and a touchdown.
Doesn't that sound weird?
It's crazy as hell to say.
That sounds mad weird.
You know what's crazy is Puka still doesn't get the respect he deserves now. Like, when people mention conversations, they don't even mention him. Like, he's better than a lot of people's favorite receiver. I don't know what it is, but we'll talk about it one day.
He's really like that for real.
Facts. Troy Franklin, wide receiver 2 in Denver, 44 yards on 4 receptions. All of them had a longest reception of 18 yards or more. So I do like Christian Kirk. His longest reception is at 17.5. We know when he is healthy, he's a threat for that. I believe last year, me and you, when he got hurt, I think we both were on his longest reception. he cashed and then left the game, right? Something like that.
Immediately. Like he
So,
caught it on the play, got hurt, and then was out for the season.
yep. So Kirk is a corner respected. Y'all can see the history here. Over in 6 of his last 9 games. So I like his longest reception. I like the receiving yards over. I'm not mad at the 3.5 receptions, but I'd rather go with the yards. So that's my look for this one. I didn't look at anything on the Titans side. I drafted Calvin Ridley in fantasy for the third year in a row. I'm a dumbass. In segment for me.
All right, man. Moving on to the next game. It's going to be the Commanders at Falcons. We got Washington laying 1.5. I'm not sure if that's changed since the announcement of
Mariota.
Mariota for sure playing. I mean, you know how these teams do it, man. They always but I think now the line has flipped. The Falcons are now 2.5-point favorites. An over under of 43.5. So things have changed a bit in regards to the game. Washington were favored. Obviously, that's baked in with the expectation and possibility of one Jade Daniels playing. If he's not going to play, and Terry McLaurin's are also out too. So it's not just Jade Daniels. Terry McLaurin's not playing either. This is a complete stay away from me now. I was hoping that McLaurin would play. I thought that would play a part. I think it now turns into a perfect opportunity and bounce back spot for Penix, but I would never bet on him because he sucks. So he's not getting my fucking money.
I want to say it's a stay away from me too. I probably looking to B John a little bit. Let me pull up Prop Finder real quick. So the Commanders defense, they've allowed 4 touchdowns to receivers. Well, I mean, 3 of those came to Trey Tucker last week. He had the game of his life. I know when Mariota is at quarterback, Zach Ertz is usually Terry McLaurin and then Zach Ertz are his favorite 2 targets. So it should be a heavy Debo game. Like any way they can get on them the ball, I believe they will. He has 21 targets on the season, already leading the team, 16 receptions. This is the bounce back season we thought we were going to see from Deebo Samuel, and he's having it. I want to see what his rush yards are this week. 7.5. It's not enough. I'm not gonna lie. I might run that just off of the volume alone. I think they're gonna try to find ways to get him the football. It's been coming out at 4.5 and 5.5. We see he had 18 yards last week. Not mad at a little half unit on Debo to get some rushing yards, man. Any receivers got some rushers against him? Oh, they're not gonna show. Oh, yes, they will. Oh, no, they don't show that. They don't show. Yes, they do. But they didn't face anybody like Debo that would get the ball. So
yeah, he really is like.
But Ibuka had 1 carry for 9 yards. So there we go.
Ibuka got 1. Zacchaeus got 1. Is that 1?
Yeah, the Zacchaeus last year, 1 for 8 yards. Darius Slayton 1 for 6. And then after that, not much. But there's nobody like Debo. CeeDee Lamb last year, 2 carries for 15. Jalen McMillan, 1 carry for 17. So yeah, I like Debo's rushing yards. I don't know about the rushing and receiving because as we can see, he didn't really get active with the receiving game. Only had 2 catches. I think Zach Ertz might be the guy for that with Terry being out. And see, that's gonna make things difficult, I think, for Mariota. If he still had Terry playing, I'd be a little bit more confident. Because Mariota has been great in the games that he spelled Jaden Daniels. But now with no McLaurin being there, I think it makes things a bit more difficult. Noah Brown is already out as well, too. So this receiving core is depleted. Jacory Krosky-Merritt hasn't practiced all week, so Commanders are banged up. So like you said, could be a good bounce back spot for the Falcons, but I'm not too eager to bet on any Falcon, honestly, except for Kyle Pitts, which I did not think I would be saying this season, but he's been cash money on his receptions.
And that's also with Penix having his head up his ass. Because, bro, I'm not gonna lie. I check to see my haters, like the people that I really hate. So it's a mutual thing. So the people I hate and the people that hate me, I'm sure they do the same thing. It's very important to keep up with your haters. And it's very important to keep up on the people that you hate on. It's very important. So I keep up on Kyle Pitts and Michael Penix. And Michael Penix missed Kyle Pitts a multitude of times last week where he just seemed too pussy to throw the ball, for lack of a better term. He just was scared. He looked like he just didn't want to let go of the rock. So I think that's something that, maybe he does find him. I think obviously Kyle Pitts he also fits the skill set. He fits the skill set for Penix, because Penix wants to go vertical. It's just, you hit him a couple of times and he starts flinching. We've talked about this too, though, since college. He always does that. Once you start putting a body on him, he starts to flinch a little bit. So, yeah, I can't think of anything else in regards to you looking at Kyle Pitts and Debo. Obviously, like you said, I love the fact that Debo can run the ball and his versatility, and Terry not being available. It's like a perfect storm for Debo to perform well.
I like Pitts' yards. Now that I'm looking at it,
I don't think any tight ends have done anything. Have any tight ends done anything outside of against Washington? I have not paid attention.
Yes,
because I know
you forgot that Tucker Craft game, didn't you?
Oh yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yeah,
he had more. He had like 150 yards in the game, 124.
124, 6 receptions and a touchdown. And we know the Giants don't use tight ends, so I'll talk that game up to nothing. Look, going back to last season, Goddard 7 receptions, 85 yards. Laporta 6 for 51. K. Oden 32 yards. Then some stinkers. Then Kyle Pitts last year 4 receptions, 44 yards. Foster Moreau 39 yards. Kyle Pitts is sitting at 36.5, 77.7 rating on Prop Finder, and he's over in all 3 games. And he's averaging 6 targets a game. They're actually getting him involved in the offense. And I think that's been the biggest thing for him. It's not just been him. He hasn't had a quarterback that is committed to getting him involved in the football game. And he has that now. So I think the book's still not adjusted to that line. It's kind of sharp, of course, 37, 39 yards, baseline 36.5. But I like it. If they open the receptions at 3.5 again, definitely like that too. And he's been great against man coverage this season, as y'all can see, almost plus 63% in targets, receptions, and yard, just per route run. I mean, so Washington running man a little bit more in the zone, 52% of the time, and then they giving up a lot of explosive plays through the air. 687 yards off explosive plays. No. I think this may be receiving yards in general, but 32 passes of 10 or more yards, 9 passes of 20 or more, 4 passes of 30 or more, and then 3 passes of 40 or more. So 16 explosives. Wouldn't be surprised if Darnell Mooney catches a bomb.
Yeah, I've heard a couple of people have like spoken on him that I've heard like around. They like Mooney. A lot of people like Mooney.
Yeah, I can see it. But that's it for this one for me.
All right, Prophet said he's so I had to update the camera so your faces don't get blocked. Pitch yards over. Joey Sly field goals plus money. Bad script. 19 and a half completions. Not mad at that. Pittsburgh. Hey, Tookie, I'm not mad at Pittsburgh winning, bro. I would like for winning. I wouldn't mind Pittsburgh going 3-1 and people having a double back when it comes to Aaron Rodgers. That's my favorite thing. I actually like that a lot. All right, moving on to the next game. It is the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Tampa Bay Bucks. I'm going to be brief. Voila.
We can't see the eyes.
There it is for me. It's plus 602 because the camera's blocking it. It's plus 602 for those 3. That's where I'm on. AJ Brown to score a touchdown, Jalen Hurts to score a touchdown, and Philadelphia to win the game. Tampa's banged up. They get Godwin back. I think that Philadelphia is going to be able to, show. I think they'll show up. I also think that they're a team that is internally motivated. Sirianni's 1-4 against the Tampa Bay Bucks in his career as a head coach. I think that it's a perfect opportunity for them to just basically show people that they are the best team in the NFC. They're also two teams that are both undefeated. I think it's a major situation here where the Eagles want to announce themselves with authority. Jalen Hurts also has a terrible track record against them. I don't know if you remember, but in the playoff game, when he was first became the starter, he looked terrible in the playoff game. It's one of his worst games as a pro.
Mm-hmm.
So Bowles has always been able to play against him. And then also the last time they beat Tampa, Tom Brady was the coach or the head or the quarterback. So they haven't beaten him. They haven't beaten Tampa since, you know, yes. I think that was the one time. But yeah, other than that, like I said, Jalen Hurts gets in the end zone simply because I think he could run one in easily. I think also running backs struggle against this front. They're not going to go in there and just run it 25 times or give. I don't think they're going to give Saquon 18 to 20 carries or even try to run the ball to a high clip. I think Hurts can get in push. He can get in from anywhere inside the 10. I think A.J. Brown has a very advantageous matchup, especially against a defense where they're going to bring heat and he's going to get a couple of opportunities to get those one-on-ones. I think that's just where I stand with things. I think this Philadelphia Eagles team is just good. Lane Johnson, full participant in practice yesterday. Getting Godwin back's a big deal, but then you lose Evans in the process. So who's is you just going to move Emeka Ibuka outside and I don't know what the plan is.
Yeah.
So I think that this Tampa team has been. I'm not going to say lucky because winning winning repeats itself. You know what I mean? Finding ways to win games and be successful. It's a repetitive thing, and they've been repetitively successful in close matchups and have won big games. So I can't say 3-0 is lucky. That's when I hear dickheads saying stuff like the Niners are the worst 3-0 team. It just sounds so stupid to me because 3-0 means you're good. How the fuck could we be bad? I don't understand it. So that's where I'm at with things. I have nothing really on the Tampa side. I don't know if you find something you like something. I know there are opportunities and matchups. It's not like this Philadelphia defense has been like completely, world beaters. They've given up their share of plays, and it's been, it is what it is. We've seen that. We've seen people have to adjust to how they play. And I also said that last week. That's the number one thing about Philadelphia. Philadelphia makes you play football the way they want you to play it. Right. That's how they play football. They force you to play their game at some point during the game, and that's why they win. It's that simple. In the second half, you think that the Rams didn't want to run the ball and salt the clock?
Couldn't do it. Yep.
Couldn't do it. Precisely. That's what it is. They make you play the way that they want. That's what separates them from other teams.
You just cut out.
I said they're at some point going to dictate how you play the game. And if you can't withstand that for however long they start to dominate the game, then you're fucked. Because the Rams had a 19-point head start and they still lost the game.
Facts. Yeah. For me, I actually stayed on the Philly side too. Let me pull up Prop Finder again. Mike said he can relate 3-0 is good. We're gonna go with Dallas Goedert. I don't bet on this guy often, but we know tight ends against the Bucks has been a continued trend over the last 2 years. Now this season, when you look at the numbers here, it's red, right? So it hasn't been the best, but you gotta go look at the opponents and see why. Tyrod Taylor and Mason Taylor were the tight ends it was the quarterback tight end connection last week. We don't expect much out of that for the Jets, right? Dalton Schultz, 3 receptions on 4 targets. CJ Stroud's line is horrible. But boom, we go and see Kyle Pitts. 7 receptions on 8 targets, 59 yards. Then we go back to last season. Ertz didn't do much in the playoff game, but Juwan Johnson, 6 receptions, 80 yards. Foster Moreau, 4 receptions, 31 yards in the same game. This is the same defense for Tampa. Nothing's changed. Ferguson, 6 receptions, 40 yards. Stone Smart. How many of you have heard of Stone Smart? You probably haven't. Don't feel bad. But I know who he is. 5 receptions, 50 yards. Michael Mayer, not even Bowers. Mayer, 7 receptions, 68 yards, and Bowers in the same game, 3
why you say it
receptions,
like that?
49.
Why you say it like that? Mayer's nice, dog. He went to Notre Dame.
I'm just saying though, both of them combined for over 100 yards. Tommy Tremble, 5 receptions for 77 yards. Okay, y'all get the drift now, right? So Goddard coming off a great game last week. 4 targets, 4 receptions against the Rams. Well, hold on. Yeah, okay. I thought I was looking at something wrong. Cause see, look, when I get all the receptions. Oh, hold on, something was tripping there. He only had 1 reception and 2 targets. But at first,
but he had that one catch for 31 yards and a touchdown, didn't he? I don't know.
Yeah.
Goddard only had 1 catch. I just remember him scoring a 30-yard touchdown.
Yeah, it was 33 yards, longest reception.
Yeah.
That was going to be the next look. So I like his receiving yards just because we bleed this matchup. So I like the over 32.5 receiving yards for Goddard. I also like his longest reception. You can see the history for the receiving yards. When he saw them last year, 62 yards over his last 20 games, over in 11 out of 16. Longest reception, over in 12 out of 16. He had an 18-yard reception against them, last season. So 73 PF rating on the longest reception, 71.9 rating on the receiving yards. I do like him to get into the end zone too. I like the lay that you put out, but I wouldn't be surprised if Goddard got into the end zone. Plus 380 on Fanatics. Nice little value there. Definitely worth the sprinkle. You click on the Bucs defense from last season against tight ends, and then you see a Christmas tree. Shout out to Mike Jones. So tight ends 8. And then if you look at the coverage, just this year, Tampa running zone almost 55% of the time. Goddard, 8 receptions against zone. All of his targets have come against zone. 8 targets on the season. I'm sorry, 9 targets, 8 receptions, 77 yards, 23 yards after the catch. So, I like him to continue to perform. Then you look at him last season against zone, 37 targets compared to only 12 targets against man, 31 receptions against zone compared to 10 receptions against man. 37 targets and 31 receptions. When the ball is thrown his way, he's making something happen. So Goddard is going to be my play in this one. Receiving yards, anytime touchdown, and longest reception over 14.5.
And if we do the Philly trifecta with the Eagles winning, sorry, Lo. So sorry about that, brother. It's plus 37.27 on FanDuel if you were to bet Goddard, Brown, Hurts, Eagles money line. Listen, Lo, you're absolutely right with the tush push. That's why if you notice, I don't know if you noticed this, but if you notice, I said he's going to be able to run the ball from anywhere inside the 10. You know what I'm saying? Like I made sure I made that one clear. You know what I mean? Because I knew somebody was going to say that because Vita Vea is the most unmovable defensive lineman probably in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to run stop, I don't think I can name a better run stopping defensive tackle in football. I think 1-2 right now for me would be him, and honestly, bro, DeForest Buckner from Indianapolis is probably like the most underrated, non-spoken about superstar defensive lineman in all of football. And that's not just because he's like not just because he's a former 49er, but like I don't think people understand how fucking nice he is. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a reason why he gets paid what he gets paid, and I don't think people realize, like, he's it. And the reason why I brought him up is because I want to talk about that game next. It's going to be the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Los Angeles Rams. Let me pull up this joint. Share screen. Colts, Rams. Now, in this one, we got the Rams laying 3.5, the Colts 3.5 plus 3.5 point dogs, obviously, plus 152 on the money line and over under a 49.5. You want to go first on this one? Or should I?
You got it.
Okay. The reason why I followed up Tampa Bay versus Philly with this one is because this is the other matchup of two teams that are undefeated. Both teams are 3-0. Or no, I'm sorry, they're not undefeated. The Rams lost. Who else is the Colts? I'm tripping. They did not win. They're 2-1. Why am I giving the Rams credit for a third win they did not get? Oh, it's because everybody thought the game was over at halftime last week. My bad. They're not undefeated. Because I saw Rams fans tweeting about how they were 3-0 at halftime. Fucking goofies. All right. Rams laying 3.5 at the crib. Undefeated Colts. I have no negative critiques of one Daniel Jones thus far in this season. He's played about as perfect of football as you can through 3 weeks. That's why it's very difficult for me to say the fucked up shit I've said about him for years. If Indianapolis goes into SoFi and wins this game this week, I will have to admit that the Colts are for real. And I have no expectations whatsoever of either side. I will say I expect for Tyler Warren to perform well in this one. I think he continues to be a vital part of the offense. The Colts this is a tough one for me. It's a tough travel spot. I am going to roll with. All right, let me make sure I get this right here. Okay. We got Tyler Warren at 50.5. And I like Josh Downs over 41.5. I think those are the two guys that can have a high level of success against this Rams defense. Obviously, the Rams were able to take Saquon out of the game last week. I think that it's hard to compare Daniel Jones to Jalen Hurts. You can't really compare the two because one's a winner and one is just finding his way on a new team. So I do believe that this Colts team's offense is starting to enter the realm of as long as you don't turn the ball over, you can't really fuck it up. And I think that's where I'm at with this team. And I think that Daniel Jones has shown that he's the first quarterback in NFL history to have a touchdown pass and touchdown run in every one of the first 3 games. He's not turning the ball over like hotcakes. He's not making the crucial mistake, which is the same thing that we used to have a problem with Sam Darnold, right? We used to think he sucked because every time the money was on the floor, he would fuck off the game. Daniel Jones was put in a lot of situations where it was fight or flight, and he crashed the plane every time. No pun intended. So I am going to say that I think it's a 3-point ball game. I think the game ends up being very, very close. And, whomever wins the game wins the game. I'm not picking a winner. I hope the Colts win because I certainly hate the Rams, and I would love for the Rams to lose and us be, atop the division because Seattle already won. So that's really all my thoughts on it. I hope the Colts win. I hope that if Daniel Jones goes 4-0, and let's say he goes 4-0 and Houston loses to the Titans, that would be like the most unexpected situation in all of football. Then we're going to have to start really having a conversation. So, yeah, I want to keep it PG and respectful because they've been good. They've been so good. I can't say nothing. You know what I mean?
So you're just waiting on your moment, pretty much.
No, I might not get it.
Okay.
They might just be good, bro. And the thing is, they are good. The thing is, I've said they were going to be a good football team. I just didn't think they. When they did what they did to Denver, that's when I was like, okay, yeah, they might have something. And then, going on the road last week and just handling business. You know what I mean? Like, can't really say anything. You can't. What can you say? There's nothing. You just, hope they go 4-0. Hope they play well. So, and they're playing the Rams. It's really easy for me to cheer against anybody who the Rams are playing.
Facts.
It's very easy. That's not difficult at all. It's like, oh, they're playing the Rams. Well, fuck it. Whoever they're playing, I hope they win by 100. It's easy for me. What do you like in this one? I know you're betting some props. He didn't think DJ was better than Anthony Richardson. Okay.
Yeah. Let me get the screen up for you. So my first look, it's gonna be Daniel Jones rushing yards. I think this line is too low. Looking at it, 20.5. On Fanatics, minus 130. We see he's over in 2 out of 3 games this season. What I really liked about it was the run types. Shout out to Prop Finder. So you see the run types here. So inside zone runs, the Rams giving up 4.4 yards per carry. Daniel Jones averaging 6 yards per carry when he does the inside zone. And if you look at designated QB runs, the Rams are allowing 4.7 yards per carry. Now, Daniel Jones only averaging 1.1 yard per carry on designated runs for him right now. But I think that could change. Everything is matchup dependent in the NFL. The Rams giving up almost 5 yards per carry on QB scrambles. Daniel Jones averaging 5.6 yards per carry. So I think Danny, is it safe to call him Danny Dimes now? Did he get that nickname back?
Indiana Jones, bro.
Indiana
Indiana
Jones.
Jones. Indiana Jones. That Danny Dimes shit is over with.
Okay.
It's Indiana Jones now. It's Danny Dimes it's over with, brother.
So yeah, the 20.5 rush yards, I think that's too low. If you look at the quarterbacks that the Rams have seen, Jalen Hurts, 9 carries, 40 yards. Cam Ward, not mobile, 4 carries, 8 yards. CJ Stroud, who's been using his legs more often because the offensive line is terrible, 5 carries, 32 yards. Go back to last season, Jalen Hurts, 7 carries for 70 yards. Kyler Murray, 4 for 32. Sam Darnold, 4 for 19. So some good QB rushing games in there. Drake May, 3 for 27. So I think Jones will use his legs in this one. And the matchup is perfect for him, just based on what the Rams defense is allowing. I wanted to look at his numbers real quick because he's been much better against zone. And we'll see that the Rams have been running zone 55% of the time. So Daniel Jones has a 75% completion percentage against zone coverage, 46 for 61 compared to 17 out of 25 against man. All 3 of his passing touchdowns will come against zone as well, with a 117 passer rating. So he's been great against zone coverage. We know he has the weapons on the outside. The only thing is, we don't know about Alec Pierce. I believe he hasn't practiced because he was going to be my look for this game. But with him being banged up, I probably just stick with the Daniel Jones rushing yards for now until I look into this game a little bit more. Definitely not mad at Joe Downs look either. And then on the Ram side, I'm going to keep on betting on Devontae Adams as long as I can, man.
Who's out? Who's out?
Pierce, is he out? Oh, they said he's out. They talking about Pierce. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna stick with the Jones rushing yards. Adams scored touchdowns in back-to-back games. Seeing that Indiana's running zone, so that might actually be better for Puka. I'll look at the numbers. Not a lot of explosives, right? When you look at the Indiana defense, I think the biggest thing for the Colts is we want to know, how much have they been tested, right? They went against, these are the quarterbacks the Colts have faced: Cam Ward, Bo Nix, and Tua turn the ball over.
All first-round picks, by the way.
Yeah. You scared of any of those 3?
You don't have to. One of my good friends, I forget his name. He always says to me, he always tells me that you don't have to be scared to get fucked up or something like that.
You don't got to be scared to get your ass whooped. What I'm saying is, none of those quarterbacks compare to Matthew Stafford. That was my main thing. So I think this will be a real test for the Colts defense. Because the offense has seen some solid defense. We think Denver's the best defense in the league. We respect the Titans defense and we respect the Dolphins. No, we don't. We do not respect the Dolphins defense. But after the Dolphins game, we saw them do whatever they wanted against the Broncos and do whatever they wanted against the Titans. So I have no fear of the Colts offense. I just want to see how good the defense really is. And I think you going up against Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua, and Matthew Stafford with those weapons, I think we'll see. I do like Devontae to get into the end zone. He didn't practice much this week. I think he got I forgot what the injury was, but he is expected to play, but he's questionable. And let's look at Puka real quick. So 212 yards against zone, 12 yards per route against zone, 71 yards after the catch. I figured his numbers were going to be a little bit better against zone. It's kind of hard to bet on Puka, though. Receiving yards come out at 90 yards. Like, damn. PF rating of 75.9. Not mad at it, but.
I mean, bro, at this point, like, if you're betting on him, it's because he continuously has won you money. There is no fear factor in betting Puka Nacua. I had meant to say that. Who's that? Because somebody kept saying something. Somebody was saying something about, like, man, his number is so high. Well, it's high for a reason. And if you look at how many times that this guy's going to throw him the ball, they're like, Stafford's just going to throw him the ball. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, they have that. They have the Wi-Fi. It's lit between the two of them. They know they both know where they're supposed to be. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not mad at anything Puka Nacua related. And then how could someone argue it? Like, how can someone even argue it? Like, just bet on the guy who he's throwing the ball to a bunch.
Facts.
It's not tough. And look at what Mike said. Puka torched us last year. How bad was it last year?
They played last year?
Apparently, that's what he said. Or maybe the last time they played.
Oh. I'm about to say, because it's showing nothing with the head-to-head. I was looking for that.
Oh, I also want to let people know that I'm keeping he had 169 yards the 2 years ago when they played.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's different DC, though. We got to make that clear. Different DC now. They don't have the same DC. It's Lou Anarumo now.
Stafford passing touchdowns not plus money this week. Books know what's up.
I'm kind of just hopping around. I'm trying to touch on the good games. I'm not talking about. I don't think we've discussed anything Browns related or Raiders related yet on this show.
Great. I'm looking at Stafford against zone last season. 74% completion percentage compared to 54% against man. Almost 2,600 yards. 7.8 yards per attempt. 98.7 QB rating. So he was better against zone than man last year. But the passing touchdowns got no value. Yeah. Puka and Adams. I like Adams getting to the end zone again. And then I'm going to look into a little bit more with the close receivers. Not mad at Pittman. He's been getting wide receiver 1 treatment, right? 15 targets. Tyler Warren has 18. So,
yeah, a couple of cool things, I guess, in regards to this game. Devontae scored 4 of his last 5 times he's played against the Colts. Daniel Jones has scored at least 1 touchdown in 4 of his last 5 games. Kyron Williams has scored at least 1 touchdown in 13 of his last 14 home games.
damn.
Wow. Kyron Williams has scored the first touchdown in each of his last 5 home games. Wow.
Oh, that's tough.
That's interesting. 5 straight games at home, he scored the first touchdown. Puka Nacua has scored in each of the Rams' last 3 games as a favorite against teams against teams that are on a winning streak. 7 of the Colts' last 8 games have gone over the point total, regardless of quarterback. The Colts have lost each of their last 9 games as underdogs against NFC teams. The Rams have covered the spread in each of their last 5 games against AFC opponents. Just some thoughts.
And the Rams have given up a touchdown. I'm sorry, the Colts have given up a touchdown to all 3 RB1s that they saw. A-Chain, Dobbins, and Tony Pollard.
Kyron first touchdown just based on the numbers. Like, it's
or
worth
you can go first half touchdown too.
Yeah, that works too. I mean,
just in case the Colts get that motherfucking score first.
That's a heck of a stat. I can't lie.
He's got a first half touchdown and 10 out of his last 20. What about at home? Oh my God, bro. A first half touchdown and 9 out of the last 10 home games.
Look at that, bro.
Sheesh, shout out to Prop Finder. His first half touchdown has an 86.4 Prop Finder rating.
Wow. That's the one, Daniel, son.
Yes, indeed.
That's the one. Kyron Williams, first half touchdown. What price are you getting that at?
No odds. They don't show odds for it. I got to actually shop it. Let me check 365 right quick. Do they have? I don't think they don't have that on FanDuel, right?
Nah, they have first touchdown.
It's probably gonna be on 365 and DraftKings.
First team touchdown, Kyron plus 200. They know what the fuck it is. First half touchdown score, Kyron plus 140.
That's it?
Yeah, they know, bro. See, he scored 9 out of the last 10. It makes sense.
Damn.
That's crazy. That's pretty crazy. I can't lie. Yeah. But I mean, we're betting it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Definitely betting it, though.
Certainly betting that one. What the fuck?
Put him in the first half touchdown lay.
Right.
Plus 155 on 365. You want to get tricky and take him for a touchdown in the first quarter, it's plus 450.
Okay.
First quarter hit rate not as often, though.
Not mad at that, though. All right.
Second quarter, 5 out of 10. Okay.
Let's move on to another 4:00 game. Probably the biggest game of the week. I think everybody is going to be locked in watching this. It's going to be the Ravens versus the Chiefs. Again, I think everybody is very much interested in this game. The loser of this game will go to 1-3 and fall behind the 8 ball in both of their divisions. I think that when you look at the two teams, that the Chiefs are in a better position in the event that they were to lose, or the Ravens are in a better position in the event that they were to lose these games, given who's in their division. The Browns are the Browns, and the Bengals don't have their best player. So that's that. I think that from, when you look at this game, you're thinking to yourself, the Chiefs go 1-3, people are going to start talking about them not making the playoffs or not being, a good football team. I think if Baltimore loses this game, nobody would be surprised, considering that they scored 30 points in each of the first 3 games and managed to lose 2 of them. That's crazy. Lamar Jackson's on pace for 55 touchdown passes and no interceptions. I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what to make of that. Listen, in this one, I guess you kind of have to believe that Kansas City's going to be able to throw the ball to some extent, right? Or run the ball to some extent, after we just watched the Lions just run amok against them. But I don't know if that's going to actually happen. Because they haven't been able to get anything generated on the ground. Pacheco looks like he's fucking lost. Kareem Hunt looks old and fat. But they do get Xavier Worthy back, which helps. To some extent when it comes to getting vertical shots or just getting a player in space that can make some plays. I don't think they've really had that over the first 3 games of the season, outside of Tyquan Thornton, whom has been, I guess, has really been the only bright spot of the receiving core, if we're being completely honest.
Facts.
I think we're going to all, possibly take something on Xavier Worthy, because I guess we've seen his worth to the offense. Baltimore, I don't know what's going on with their defense, to be totally honest with you, bro. It sucks. They miss Matabike. They just simply don't perform well without him. I'm not touching anything in this game outside of possibly a couple of Lamar Jackson props, because he's been the only thing of value, in my opinion, on the offense. I know Flowers has played decent in a couple of stretches. DeAndre's got a couple of touchdowns. Derrick Henry fumbling at the most inopportune moments. And then on the Chiefs side, like, how do you decide on who to bet on for them?
It'd be tough for me. That's why I don't even be excited to bet on the Chiefs game if Rashid Rice not playing.
That's what I'm saying. At least with Worthy, we know we're going to get the offense may look a little bit more competent, and Baltimore's defense looked just so god awful on Monday. You're thinking that somebody's going to do something, because no Matabike, he's definitely out. He's not playing. So Is it Pacheco or Hunt? Like, God, those are bad decisions. I think the Chiefs need to go trade for Alvin Kamara, but that's just me.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, I think they need a running back, bro, like a real running back. Oh, thank you, Aquino, Sean Aquino, bingo right there. Mike Green sucks. All that he's got bend shit that people be talking about, he's got great bend, bro. Did you see him in the game the other night? He was getting served. Every time he tried to speed rush, he sucks. He's not ready. Let's say after last week, towards the Ravens game. Oh, you do have the D-Hop revenge narrative against the Chiefs. I just remembered that. I don't know if that's really a revenge narrative or did they just give him a chance. Receiving yards. And then D-Hop's numbers are super low as far as his receiving yards, his receptions. 1.5 receptions and 18.5 yards are his yards. That's super low. You liking anything in this one? Like I said, I don't have too much. I just figured it's an important game. So we're going to talk about the repercussions of it, but I don't have a bunch of thoughts or bets on it because I don't see that to be a thing, to be honest with you.
Important game. We're going with important players, man. Lamar Jackson, but on the ground, rushing yards against the Chiefs have been a thing. We have cashed on this. Longest rush at 15.5. It might seem like it's long, but it's Lamar Jackson here. Have no fear. I like the longest rush over 15.5. And I just like the rushing yards over 45.5. Is that the lowest number? Yeah, it is. He had 122 yards on the ground against the Chiefs last year. A lot of people were talking about should he have ran and shit like that last week. There were no lanes for him to run last week, but I think there'll be lanes this week for him. The Chiefs against mobile quarterbacks, we'll see here. They're giving up 8.2 scramble yards, 8.2 yards per carry. Lamar is averaging 9.8 yards per scramble. Russell Wilson had 27 rushing yards with a longest rush of 14 yards. Jalen Hurts, only 15 yards on 9 carries. Did have a longest rush of 11. He has some kneel downs to take that down, obviously, because he had 9 carries, only 15 yards with the 11-yard run. Justin Herbert, we saw him get active on the ground in week 1, 32 yards rushing, longest rush of 19 yards. Jalen Hurts in the Super Bowl, 72 rushing yards, longest rush, 17. Josh Allen, 39. CJ Stroud, 42, a 28-yard run. So we see the Chiefs defense will give up explosives on the ground. Bo Nix, 7 carries, 47 yards, longest rush, 27. Russell Wilson, 55 rushing yards when he played for the Steelers. So y'all get it, man. Josh Allen, 55. Bryce Young, 20. So I like Lamar rushing yards. Not mad at the passing TDs. It's finally at a decent line, minus 130. But I wouldn't be surprised if he actually ran for a touchdown himself this week. What's that? Plus 220. Decent value there. But yeah, that's my look. And not mad at Mark Andrews. He showed he had a pulse last week. On Monday, he showed up. So Lamar rushing yards, Lamar longest rush. Let's check out Andrews. The Chiefs have given it up to tight ends. Not this seat. Well, yeah. Nah, that's the longest reception. Yeah, that's the longest reception. Hold on. I don't even see. Oh, because I think likely it might be back this week. So we're not seeing any yard props for Andrews yet. Because likely it's still questionable. So I'll look into that once we know who's playing or not for Baltimore. But on the Chiefs side, I didn't have anything.
Yeah, me neither, brother. But it's looking like Isaiah Likely might be back this week, which is a great thing for me. Just some quick thoughts about this game. Patrick Mahomes has scored at least 1 touchdown in 3 of the Chiefs' last 4 home games. He scored 1 on the ground. They've covered the spread in 4 of their last 5 games against the Ravens. And the Chiefs have won each of the last 15 home games when playing with a rest advantage.
Okay.
15 straight home games when they've had one more day than the other team to prepare. What the fuck?
Did you mention Hollywood Brown, like low-key revenge game?
I would never mention him. He sucks. He's You talk about a motherfucker that lost a step fast. I mean, fast, brother. Holy shit.
He has been getting active against zone. Hold on.
Yeah. But what's his workload gonna look like when
Worthy's back?
When Worthy's back? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna get into the biggest game of the week for real. Next. Not because it'll be the best game on TV or anything, but it'll be the best game for the two teams involved, and that's the Packers versus the Cowboys. Green Bay laying 6.5 on the road at the Cowboys, over under a 47.5. I'm going to tell you right now, brother. I am without question taking the points
With Green Bay or Dallas?
With Dallas.
Okay.
I know everybody thinks I probably might think I'm crazy. I'm want to go on a limb. I think they'll be able to keep this game. Stay somewhat within the game. I don't think that Green Bay is just going to go on the road and smoke them. I think Green Bay struggled on the road last week. I think that everybody expects it to just be a walk through week to week because we've seen the Packers perform well against a couple of teams that we thought were going to be good or we believe to be good teams, but that's just not the way it works. You know what I'm saying? I also think that there's a huge pride factor here for the Dallas Cowboys, and I think that this game hinges on whether or not we see them completely pack it the fuck up or actually try to fight. If the Green Bay Packers go into Dallas on Sunday and beat the shit out of them, the season's over. It's over. There will inherently there will be no hope in the building. If you can't motivate this team to go play a good game against a former player whom everybody loved in the city and everybody thought was going to be a generational force for years to come in the uniform, I can't imagine that. I say all that to say is I still think that the Packers will probably win the game. And the Packers have shown that they can beat the shit out of the Dallas Cowboys in recent years, especially in the playoffs. We saw that happen. I just think that Dak's got to show some fucking pride, man. And this team's got to come out here and fight. Obviously, like you said, CeeDee Lamb's not playing. Pickens' longest reception, I think, is a go. I also think that you're going to get a lot. I think that Dallas will abandon defense and just try to score points in this game, which has pretty much been their strategy all year so far because their defense fucking sucks. So I think it's Green Bay 37, Packers or Dallas 33. I think both teams' defense will be out the window. I'm praying to God that
you think the Packers defense is going to give up 33 points to the Cowboys.
I'm praying, man. I just don't want. Notice I ain't suggesting no bets outside of a +6.5. But if I'm a bet prop, okay. So let's play the game where we decide on who to bet props on for the Green Bay Packers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Lex, keep passing them dice on the counter upstairs. How are we going to decide what running back we're gonna or what receiver we're gonna bet props on? And we all think that Green Bay is going to score a shit ton of points, right? It's like, let's work this out, bro. Let's pull up Prop Finder and let's roll. Let's figure out which one of these guys is not a dice roll. And once we figure out who isn't the dice roll, let's bet on everybody else. Because that's how betting on the fucking Green Bay Packers receivers is.
Let me see.
That's what I want to know. Like, I don't have like any real. Like,
okay.
All right, here we go.
Matthew Golden is going to score his first NFL touchdown this week. That's number one. Okay. The Cowboys run zone 76% of the time. Matthew Golden has 8 targets this season. 7 of them have been against zone. He has 6 catches this season. All 6 have been against zone. This is a match made in heaven. 12.6 yards per route against zone. All right. We're going Matthew Golden. His receiving yards at 44 and a half. Not going to lie. He might break 100, you know. I'm taking some risk in this game. I'm taking risk against the Cowboys defense every chance that I get. There's no Reed. He had 4 targets last week. Dobbs only had 2. I think they make a point to get the rookie the ball. It's like why not? Prime time, Sunday night, worst defense in the league. Let's showcase our rookie. They took him in the first round. The Packers never take receivers in the first round. This is the game. This is the golden game. All right. Now, longest reception last week, 34 yards. It's at 22 and a half. Take that too. Receiving yards, I'm not going to lie, up to about 80 or 100. Longest reception, love it. Touchdown, plus 220. I'm sorry, plus 240. I love it. He's a zone. He only getting targets against zones. A match made in heaven. Listen to this. The Dallas Cowboys, 864 passing yards allowed. 13 passes of 20 or more yards. 9 passes of 30 or more yards. 6 passes of 40 or more yards. 28 explosive plays allowed. It's only been 3 weeks. Look at this here. Wide receiver versus Dallas. Touchdowns. DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, and Luther Burton all in the same game. We've seen the Bears offense barely be able to move the ball 2 weeks ago.
On the slowest flea flicker in the history of the world, by the way. That touchdown to Burton, like that just lets you, if you didn't know how terrible that defense was, just go look at the replay of that play.
Come on, man. Malik Neighbors had 2 touchdowns. Wan'Dale Robinson had a touchdown. Need I continue? The Philly game, we saw what happened. Divisional game. This is not the division. Like you told me. These teams are built to compete in a division. Of course, it's going to look like that. And then they had a delay, all right? I was big on the Cowboys. Over the last 2 weeks, it's the same old Cowboys, maybe worse. Diggs is now dealing with an injury. Even I prefer him to play, to be honest with you. I want Diggs out there if I'm taking the longest reception in a receiving yards ladder. He fucking sucks. Okay? Look at Dallas, right? Receiving yards. 661. That's the most allowed. This is just 2 receivers. This is not including running backs or tight ends. Giving up the most yards to receivers. The longest touchdown this season has come against the Dallas Cowboys last week, 65-yard touchdown. Yards after the catch, they're giving up the 7th most. Air yards giving up the most, 484. Jordan Love is going to throw 2 or 3 touchdowns this week. I mean, I already had the game ready. I couldn't believe my ears when you was talking, like you thinking the Cowboys going to be like no.
No, listen, they got to have some sort of pride.
That can't play defense for them. That's the problem.
That's fair. That's why, if you notice, I said they're gonna have their offense gonna have to figure out a way to score some motherfucking points.
Yeah, they definitely gonna have to figure out a way. I don't know. And this is the thing. The Browns defense, like the Packers going up there and struggling against the Browns defense. I was a bit surprised, but I get it at home. Now Lamar shredded them. You know, sometimes shit happens, right? But I think this is the get right spot for Jordan Love and the Packers. And with it being no read, it makes it even better for guys like Wicks laid in the egg last week. He had 4 targets, only 2 receptions. Now he's been better against man, which makes me like Bolden even more. But I do think Wicks' longest reception could be in play. I mean, if you just look at longest receptions allowed, Odunze 35-yarder with Burton 65-yarder in the same game. Malik Neighbors 48-yarder. Darius Slayton 52-yarder. Wan'Dale Robinson 50-yarder in the same game. Come on, man. This game is going to be so exciting. Like I can't wait for this. I'm not going to lie to you. I like Jordan Love for probably 3 passing touchdowns. I like Wicks' longest reception. Golden, every single thing you could think of. Not mad at Dobbs, but he's much better against man. They get into the red zone, that's when the Dobbs touchdown will come into play. He's at plus 185. This could be another trifecta spot for you. Dobbs, Golden, both should score touchdowns. Wouldn't be surprised if Wicks scored or Tucker Crabb either, but I definitely see Jordan Love throwing 3 touchdowns. Not going to lie.
Listen, I'm not mad at anything like you said in regards to the side. I guess this is one of the few weeks where it's not Russian roulette and you can really just bet on all of them, huh? It's not really a
Yep.
roulette situations like you run into here in recent weeks. It's just Golden, Dobbs, all of them could possibly get in the end zone for real, for real.
I didn't even look at Jacobs. Like, how could I not look at Jacobs? How dare me? Rushing yards at 70 and a half.
He scores a touchdown like every week, so
Facts. I ain't gonna lie. I'm surprised. Dallas been good against the run this year.
well, I mean, that's they went and got Clark, but again, that secondary is egregiously trash. Like
Facts.
they're trash. It's insane how bad they are. But yeah, I don't. We obviously are going to do more content here over the next couple of days and later on today. I don't want to. There are certain games we didn't touch on. I'm sure we're going to get like a gauge on for the rest of the weekend. Anything? I'm trying to think. Anything else in regards to this week that you think of off the top of your head? I didn't want to get into certain games just because I know we're going to talk about them elsewhere, and I don't want to be on that. Let's talk about it here and talk about it here and talk about it. You know what I mean? I don't.
Yeah.
Just talk about that shit one in one segment somewhere else per se. Matt said check Jacobs' longest rush. But like I said, the games that we did cover, we did give some looks and angles for every single one. Obviously, I love the Philadelphia Eagles in the game against the Buccaneers. I said I like Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Dallas Goedert to score. Well, you like Dallas Goedert to score a touchdown. If you were to combine those three with Philadelphia money line, is plus 37-27. Not going to talk about the Saints versus the Bills. The line was 17.5. It's gotten down to 15.5. Cleveland traveling to Detroit. They're 9.5-point dogs. No interest in that one. The Chargers traveling to New York to take on the Giants, laying 6.5 in Jackson Dart's league debut. I'm going to be honest. I think that something we're not realizing with the Chargers is they've had to do a lot of traveling their first 3 weeks. So it's just an interesting back and forth, in my opinion, there as far as the travel spot goes. And then the games we didn't talk about, Panthers, Patriots, don't have anything in that. Jacksonville versus the 49ers, I'd rather watch paint dry. Chicago versus the Raiders, I think that game has a chance of being something, relatively fun. But I don't really have any plays for those games as of right now. So anything else before we get up out of here? Obviously, this is the very important NFL betting show. Make sure you guys drop us a follow, subscribe on the channel, and all that other stuff. We should have some more shorts and stuff coming out here soon in the next couple of weeks. It's just that football season is, hectic and niggas got lives.
Facts. John said no unders. We didn't go through every single game, so
yeah, no. Catch us on Spaces at 5. Are you doing the Spaces at 5 again today?
Yep.
Spaces at 5. And then we'll do a space on Sunday morning as well. Might end up doing some level of streaming for the 9:00 game. Don't know yet, but I definitely am getting back on the live betting wave when it comes to the NFL. So if it's spaces that we do the live betting, then that's what it'll be, and we'll go from there. Anything else before we get up out of here?
Nah. Sean said biggest upset of the week. Probably the Titans.
No. You got to see his comment before. He said the Giants win.
The Giants gonna beat the
Chargers. I ain't gonna lie. The Chargers. Did you check the Chargers schedule? Like how they've traveled thus far this season?
Yeah. I just looked at the Vegas crib, then played the Chiefs out the country.
Right. So it was you know what I mean? So it's kind of a weird. And then you go from where they were at the crib on Sunday, and now they go to New York to play this week. You know what I mean? Just something to think about. You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
trying to see how the Giants gonna score enough points with that guy at quarterback to beat the Chargers.
Maybe he's special.
Right.
I mean, he could be special and he could be special. So, we're going to find out. We're going to find out. Catch us at 5 p.m. on Spaces. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. We'll catch you on Monday for some recap stuff and 2 Monday night games next week or on Monday. So we're back at it again. We'll catch y'all later. Justin Herbert, MVP talk. Everybody's talking about it, brother. Who people Jackson Dart think he is? Who people think Jackson Dart is? I'm trying to figure it out too.
We on a streak with interceptions, right? The last prime. Well, I know it's not prime time. Jackson Dart is for sure throwing an interception. I can tell you that right now. The odds are bad though, so wait to bet it live. I'll give y'all that. That nigga is throwing an interception.
He's gonna fuck around and give one up first drive of the game. All right, we out.